to the topic of the discussion and hit the issues you typically find reluctant. Remove the facade to fill the gap with some substance. We undermining problems, expecting to overcome it. Please hold the applause. We doing it for the cause. People follow culture before they follow the laws. We rather face the friction and not attempt it at all. Persistence will find solutions once our contentment dissolves. There's a hard pill to swallow for anyone breathing, both for folks who stay woke and those who be dreaming. We ain't slaves, yet we still ain't experienced freedom. What we need is the keys to access the kingdom. We're all in this fallen world trying to stay intact. I'm just a beggar, point you out to where the bread is at. So follow the breadcrumbs like Hansel and Gretel. Thank Yogi Bear and the thought engineer for that on
Man Talk Mondays. We are here in the house. We are back once again, ladies and gentlemen. It is your man, Derek, the thought engineer, here with my man, comedian John Yogi. How's it going, man?
Man, it's going good, man. It's like we got a Monday over with. We got Monday over with, man. Brother.
We got it over with. We got it over with. So, bro, crazy weekend. Completely crazy weekend. Brother, the weekend was all kinds of crazy. And I know we're going to get into that in a minute, but let me just start off by letting everybody know this is Man Talk Mondays. It's an open forum where we talk about everything from religion to politics to relationships, but of course we're doing it from a man's perspective. Now keep in mind, this is not just for men. We want everybody to join in and participate in the conversation. Men, women, boys, and girls, you can go ahead and talk to us. You are part of this conversation. Now, how you do this, you simply go in the comments, drop your comment, drop your question in there. We can see this, and this is how you interact with us, right? But let's just sit down and have a good conversation today, right? So talk to us. Let us know how you feel about what we're talking about what's going on, right? Also, don't forget, we have our podcast. And we're available on Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker. So wherever you go to listen to podcasts, you can catch us on those podcasts. You do want to catch us, right? Catch us when it's not convenient for you to sit on a computer. You can listen to us as you're going about your day, you're driving around or doing something, you're cleaning up the house. You can listen to us on the podcast, right? We upload a new episode every week. So we got some good stuff out there. Terrific. We got some good stuff out there. What would you say is the best one for them to go back and check?
I think it depends on where you are. One of the better ones for me was Blended Families. For people that's trying, we have some for everybody. The Blended Families was a really good one. The one last week I thought was a really good one as well. And just let me say this: it's like having a bunch of kids, and you don't really want to pick a favorite because the other one's gonna get jealous. So just go back and take a look at any of them because all of them are good. To be honest, all of them are really good. To be totally honest.
Yeah, we got some good stuff. That Blended Families went hard. We had the Pastor Sam Finchroy, who was dropping some good nuggets on us on that one. So
the one with BS3 was good too, though. The one with BS3, King 3, that was a good one. Yes, that was a good one as well.
Queen 3 and King.
Yes,
they joined us. That was a good one.
Yeah.
So go back and check us out. Also, our next segment we got coming up, of course, is Man Talk About It. And we want to let you know you can send in your letters. Write us a letter to tell us about something that you got going on if you want us to talk about it. And we can discuss it here. You can get our opinion on it. Everything is anonymous. We won't tell your business, won't tell who you are. But we'll just talk about it and just give our perspective on what's going on with you. So you can have that perspective.
And listen, guys, everybody know you crazy anyway. So don't worry about that. We know. No big deal. We know you crazy.
Right. So some things that's happening, or some things that have happened over the weekend. Grambling State University, my alma mater. I am a graduate of Grambling State University, alumni, had homecoming this weekend.
Oh, wow.
And unfortunately, somebody got shot. And I want to say that one person died.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
But man, it kind of makes you wonder though, what's going on? What's going on with the shootings, man? What's
That's what I'm saying.
life? Listen, life is precious to everybody. Life is really precious to everybody. I don't understand how we just go in and I don't get it. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. They need to be caned.
He said Kane. I don't have all the details, but it appears that at the end of homecoming, towards the end, later on that night, there was a shooting. There were several people that got shot, and one person actually died. And it's like it's senseless. And that's all that they playing up. The whole homecoming, everything. You had Jackson State University, who had a record crowd of 50-some thousand people, you know what I'm saying, with Deion Sanders, the coach of Jackson State and everything. All this going on, but people want to throw this negativity in about, as if we can't get together without some drama. I don't know do you think we can get together without drama?
Well, I think it's unfair to put it on it being a black thing. I think that's unfair.
Yeah,
they shooting at every venue, they shooting at every concert. Shooters don't have no particular colors that they particularly going after. They just kind of going after people.
Right.
It's I'm making light of it, but man, brother, no, shooting is not a black thing. Shooting is a people. It's more of a people thing than anything, man. And we have to find another way of dealing with what's going on with us besides pulling the gun, shooting people, man. Somebody has saved all year and got their clothes and their outfit ready, and you got them crawling on the ground trying to hide from bullets. You broke. You know how broke kids are in college. They had to save up for 2 years for that outfit. How you gonna come in and mess? I'm doing it's just the gall of people, man. Just the gall of people.
Yeah, because I can tell you now, there is a group on Facebook for GSU alumni, and they're already talking about next year's homecoming already. This is how serious they take homecoming. So to have it, all the festivities, all the positivity, you got all the black love in one place, and to have it come to this it's just tragic. I hate it.
The crazy thing about it, D, is it takes us a lifetime to try to get a positive reputation for something. And it takes one fool, one disturbed person, one person who's having a really bad day to tear it all down. Because Grambling's homecoming now will be remembered for this rather than the good things that have gone forward, man. And that's not fair.
Yeah. Dwayne Hunter says one of the kids was my nephew. He got shot in the arm and his friend got killed. So it was his nephew's friend that actually got killed. Wow. So I said there were shootings at 3 homecomings last weekend. So to your point, this is not an isolated incident. There are other things that happen, but does it seem like we get a bad rap in the whole thing?
Well, first of all, you know what we dealing with and what we working with as far as the media is concerned. So of course it's gonna be painted as a we can't do nothing nowhere. So I'm not gonna lie and play with you. Absolutely what that's about. But so answer me this: how can we do a better job of policing our own in those situations? Because whoever is doing it, they have talked to someone about what they're planning on doing. Nobody going to this stuff by themselves. I would like to believe no one goes into this stuff by themselves because it takes proper planning and everything. And most of the time, you need at least 2 people.
Yeah. Yeah. Anthony says we need to teach our kids how to handle their anger another way other than shooting. Absolutely right. And to Tamika's point, this was not even a student. When I was at Grambling, this is not an uncommon occurrence. You had people who weren't students who would come during events and completely mess it up for everybody else.
And see, people don't understand. When I was at, I'm a South Oak Cliff alum, so
Sark in the house.
You better ask somebody. But most of the issues that we had at SOC, man, it didn't come from people that went to the school. And that used to kill me. We had such a terrible reputation, but it was because people didn't go to the school that were up there, that didn't have a life, that were up there with those high school kids, shooting and doing foolish stuff, man. And so I imagine it's the same way at the colleges.
It is. It's a big event. You can't control how many people, who's coming, and the whole nine. So it's just unfortunate that you have this happen. So yeah, it's not happening. It's not just happening at Grambling, it's happening other places. But of course, it seems like when things happen in our community, they get put under a microscope. And I hate that because, Well,
let me say this. Our hearts and prayers go out to the victims and their families and their loved ones, anybody that was affected, anybody that was at the schools, because trauma is real. And we just want to let everybody know, man, we're praying for you guys. And get the help, talk to someone if you need to about it.
I kind of agree with Tamika. Says we have to do better checkpoints after events open to the public. After a certain time, persons who are not students or alumni should have to leave the campus. And I think the manpower it would take to do that, I don't think they have the money. I don't think they have the money. I think there has to be a smarter way on the front end, because there's enough alumni and students that come back for it to still be a big event. Without the extra that come in that don't have the right intentions and not enjoying it because it's, their affections for the school, they just want to hang around and have a good time, and it ends up in tragedy. So yeah, it's
well, if we planted them a year out, that's something that we need to put on the planning committee as well. How can we protect our students and alumni? How can we protect the people that actually go to school? Because listen, I know we can come up with that. I know we can. We just got to put it on the agenda.
Yeah. And this is not a common occurrence. Let me say this. As a Grambling alumni, this is not a common occurrence. People don't just get shot at homecomings like this. So let me just go ahead and let y'all know that now, right? Don't be disrespecting GSU.
Hey, let me say this to y'all, everybody but D. It is now. Regardless of what D say, it's a common occurrence now, regardless of what he say. So now you got to work just as hard to make
it, man.
Dude, all it takes is one time. We only get one time.
You right. One shooting at a club, you might as well close the door.
They're gonna close down.
They ain't coming back.
Because that's what the club gonna be known for. It's gonna be known for, they shooting in that club. Ain't going over there.
So maybe we need to start doing what clubs do. Put a dress code for homecoming. Everybody come in suits.
Hey, you ain't shooting in the suit, bro. You ain't shooting in the suit.
No, you ain't shooting in the suit. That is what you're not doing at all. At all. Now, I know everybody has caught wind of this. And listen, we're of a different generation. I don't know what this generation got going on. And they're kind of accepting of way more than we accepting of. But last week we found out the new Superman is out of the phone booth. He is out and proud. So they recently announced that the new Superman, let me say, this is not our Superman. This is the son of Lois Lane and Superman. He has come out as being bisexual.
I just got a question. Is his cape shorter than the other Superman's was? Do he have a half cape?
I think it's bedazzled. No, dude, why you getting me started, man? What are you doing? You can't be doing it.
Listen, okay, let me say this. We have to stop pushing our agenda on kids. We have to stop pushing our agenda on the kids, y'all. Come on. If comic books were for adults, which a lot of adults read them, but mostly comic books are for kids. Listen, if that's your agenda, find an adult way to get it out. You got to stop putting it on the kids, man. They got enough they trying to deal with already. They don't need no more from us.
Yeah. And I saw a post this past weekend. It says it ain't about it's not about promoting homosexuality. It's not about promoting heterosexuality. Don't target our kids with sexuality, period. Stop trying to push this type of stuff on kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that don't have a place in comics and comic books, though.
It didn't. But listen, man, I could go for days. Quincy says they're changing race, genders, etc. of these new superheroes to make headlines. They don't just fight crime anymore. They have to make statements. Quincy has a point. It ain't about just being a hero anymore. Your lifestyle has to be the focal point now.
But you just can't be a mild-mannered man no more. You gotta be now you gotta be bi though. Really? I just can't see. And my problem is I'm old school. I'm probably too old school for my own good sometimes. But man, y'all telling me everything we grew up learning about that stuff is supposed to be, it's not supposed to be in the forefront. Y'all telling me that's wrong now?
Bruh.
My sexuality has to be on Front Street for everything. I mean, it just don't make sense.
Like Monique, that's a little much. Anthony say we need to ask Boosie for a response. You know, Boosie don't hold his tongue. Boosie let you know how he feel about stuff. Hey. And you know what? Honestly, if more people had the freedom that he had, you probably would hear a lot more about how people really feel. I'm just put it that way.
It's hard to agree with, man. That's a lot. Now you're trying to grab a bigger audience now and pull that audience in. That's a lot, man. You mean to tell me y'all can't find nothing else to write about? You mean to tell me y'all sitting around the boardroom? What can we do or say that's gonna chop? That's gonna give a pop? Did somebody say, you know what? How about it, dude? We give him a boyfriend and a girlfriend. Y'all lazy. Y'all need to be fired.
You know what? And here's the thing: the squeaky wheel gets the oil. I'm gonna say this: the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Statistically, that community, the LGBTQ, plus, that community actually makes up about 10 to 15% of the population. So they're not the majority, but they make their case more than anybody else. Even blacks, they make their case more than anybody else. And because they do, like I said, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So now you have narratives that are being changed. And
is it the squeaky wheel or the
don't you dare. Don't you dare.
All right, so what we talking about tonight?
I had to cut you off because you was about to go in.
So what we talking about tonight?
I couldn't let you, man. I couldn't let you.
So what we talking about tonight, man? What we talking about? All right, what we talking about tonight, man? Let's get to this combo tonight, man. Let's get with this combo. Come on, get with this combo. There we go.
I'm back, man. This computer's I'm having technical issues, y'all. So bear with me. Having technical problems, technical issues. But let me say, last week we talked about LIMP conversations. And if you didn't catch last week, you need to go back and listen to it. We talked about a whole lot about LIMP conversations. And basically, LIMP conversations are conversations that men find hard to have with their wives, their spouses. These are hard conversations for us to have because there are issues that are surrounding that. But this week, we want to actually get a different perspective. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is LIMP Conversations 2, a conversation with the wives. A conversations with the wives. So you ready, bro?
No, I'm not ready. I just want to put this disclaimer out there. Just because they women don't mean that they right. They just mean that we bringing them on. So y'all take what they say with a grain of salt. And there I said it.
All right, so joining us tonight, I have my wife here.
Hey.
Doctor is in the house. Dr. Selena Smith is in the house with us. And also the person who's going to keep Big Yogi in line. We have his wife, Miss Cheryl Lewis, is in the house with us tonight.
Hey, girl, hey.
Right? They in here, right? That's what we want. We got the wives on deck. So y'all give it up for the wives. Give it up for the wives.
Give it up for the wives.
Give it up for them. They're here.
Give it up for the wives.
Hey,
All
honey.
Is that it? All
We
right.
got to keep saying hey to them and everything already. So, all right. So last week we kind of got into some things about some of the things that men deal with, some things we struggle with as life goes on and things change with us, some struggles we have. So we also mentioned how for men, when we have physical issues, men tend to medicate themselves. We don't go to a doctor. We just medicate ourselves. But one of the ways men medicate themselves is with pornography. They medicate themselves with pornography. So we want you find out your man is dealing with some stuff, issues like this. What comes to your mind? What do you think about? What you got, John? You got something? What?
So let me paint the picture.
Paint
You coming home from work. You walk in the house. You looking for him. You can't find him. He in the room with the door shut. And you walk in and you walk in on him. Yeah. and, you know, and they got that during the headlight look. So how you react? Yes.
What goes through a woman's mind, a wife's mind when she sees that?
So I'm gonna say if she doesn't already know her spouse, it would be something like it's almost like she would have a lack of confidence. So it's something that she doesn't have or doesn't bring to the table, or she's not good enough for you to get your needs met from her because you feel like you have to go watch porn.
Oh wow.
But I think that is someone who doesn't really know their spouse, or not even just know their spouse, but has a lack of confidence. Because if you are confident in that area, then you realize it's a problem. Something's wrong. Something got to be wrong right now. For this to be going on. And so then that's when you use your questioning skills and say, whoa, we need to talk. What's going on? What's wrong? Where's the problem?
She talking about whoa. You say whoa when you first walk in. Whoa.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I wasn't invited to the party. What is this?
You said what invited to the party?
Yeah, I'm asking the same thing. I'm asking questions. I'm like, what's going on? You know, do we need to talk about something? Mm-hmm. And number one, where do you get all that energy from?
She said, where you get all that energy from? What you mean he got a lot of energy?
All right, John.
Hey, time out.
Hey, the people laughing too. Big laughing at you. You gotta be, where you get all this energy from?
So we're here for, Gerard. That's what we're here for.
Oh, that's funny.
So you feel like this is just recreation. He just having fun. He found him a new toilet placement or something, right?
Ooh, boy.
But no, I mean, I do have to ask him, you know, what is really going on. If you feel like you need this, and the number one question is, am I not enough? I want to know why. If I'm not enough, why am I not enough?
See, it's not
like that questioning skills.
Yeah,
You gotta have some skills for the questioning. So you say, what's wrong? Why am I not?
See, this is the thing, and this is what women automatically think. Women automatically think that everything has to do with them. Now, let me say this: this particular thing does have to do with them, but it could be that there's no pressure in her. When I'm in her, there's no pressure. There's no pressure of having to twist you and move you in my back and my side, and my knees hurting, and there's no pressure. There's no pressure on me to satisfy anybody but myself. And we say all the time, people are selfish, and that's true. But now, perhaps you seeing me needs to spark a conversation. So I would agree with that. Perhaps it does need to spark a conversation. Don't come home between 3:45 and 4 o'clock until I got the room taken up.
But I think that before that spouse came home to find you in that predicament, there had to have been first some signs, right? So you was trying to get your thing, your swerve on, you was trying to get that thing thanging, and it wasn't really happening. And so then when you come home, it's not a surprise because you remember back, you know what, that one time I was trying to get it on and you wasn't really ready, you wasn't really feeling me. So it has to be with you being attentive, you know, to your spouse or to your partner, because it's not going to come out of nowhere. There were signs already to let you know that there was a problem beforehand. Either you just weren't paying attention to it, or you just act like you were blind to the fact that something was going on. And so I think when those types of things happen, then instead of going straight directly to being upset or feeling some type of way, it's like you're thinking about all of those things that happened prior to. And so you start to put two and two together to come up with like those questioning skills. Like, okay, so I remember last week or whatever when this was going down, you know, it was some limp things going on.
Whoa!
I mean, we're not talking about us. I'm just trying to help.
She's talking about a friend.
I'm saying whoever. I'm trying to help people who may be going through this, right? And so this doesn't come out of nowhere. And so you have to pay attention to the signs before first getting upset and say, okay, why could this be happening?
But what if there aren't any signs? You know, what if there aren't any signs? I mean, like you have your everyday life. You know, everybody having their everyday life. You're tending the kids. You're working all day. You're coming home and you're doing whatever, and you're not even. There's been no clue of this, no clue of whatever it is that he's feeling, but maybe he's just a really secretive type of guy. And
there's still signs though. You're just busy that you're not recognizing because, like you said, you going to work every day. You come home, you got kids, you got all these things, and so I feel like there's still signs. It's just not as evident because you have so much else going on. You know, so many other things going on, and it may not be a big thing. It could be something as simple as he don't cuddle with me like he used to.
Oh yeah.
And then you may think of it as we just both busy, like we got a lot going on.
Mr. Jason Earl says somebody say attentive. You got to clap with it. Attentive. So you saying we get so locked in our routines that we get distracted from what's really happening? Is that what you're saying?
Well, and that's why it's important to be intentional, to set up those times, because then in that time that you've already set up to be affectionate or whatever with each other, and then it's not happening, then you're like, whoa, something's wrong, because now you've already set aside that protected time with your spouse.
Okay, but you said something. You said earlier, when you come home and you see there's a party going on in the house that you wasn't invited to. So if there's a party going on, the correct the correct response for me is perhaps you join in the party. Because let me say this, because you said you have recognized that there was a problem. And what if this is what he can help him get through the problem? Do you jump in with him, or do you stand back and you say, oh my God, I just can't believe my husband is in here?
But he hadn't said he had a problem. He hadn't said he had a problem.
No, to
To
your point, remember, LIMP conversations are things that men find it hard to talk about. And I said last week, there are two things. If men aren't where they need to be in those things, they will not talk about them. And that's sex and finances. If we are deficient in any one of those, we are not going to talk. So
deficient is such a strong word, D. It's such a strong word. Such a strong word.
Anthony said, Derek, did you miss the assignment?
How you gonna try to just put me out there, though, Anthony? How you just gonna try to put me out there?
With me.
Now, because Anthony says open communication is telling her exactly what I want and what I need. And Anthony, you're absolutely right. I get that. But if you got an issue, you hush mouth. You ain't just. Are you saying that you need to go to the doctor? Are you saying that you need to get yourself checked out because things ain't working all right?
You need.
Are you just
not realizing that you got an issue? Do you not realize you have an issue?
Oh, he knows.
And then
say something
real quick. I want to go back to John's point about do you just join in? But I think as females or as a partner, you have to be that safe space to land. So I'm not joining. That's your opportunity. It depends on how they react. If they fumbling for the remote trying to turn it off, it's like, okay, so whoa, what's
wait.
problem?
But that's our thing. You think you ain't gonna fumble? Now, if you go over and you're supposed to grab the remote and say, let's get these lights off. We can do this thing over here.
Grab the remote.
He started the party, remember? So it's his job to go ahead and pull his wife in or whatever and caress her or whatever and start this party. And then a conversation still needs to be had, right? Because if you're caught already, then you caught. So it don't make sense to lie. It makes absolutely no sense to lie, right? And that's where we as women and y'all as men have to be that soft space for your spouse to land. When they feel vulnerable or whatever, you got to allow them to be that in that moment.
But why would it have to take that for you to get to that point with me? Why does it have to take some outside influence to get to that point with me?
See, because women
we busy last week. What you said, John? Hold on, John. We busy what you said last week. Break it down for him.
I'm trying to remember what I said last week. I'm sorry. I had another thought that I was going to say. But I agree with the Tamika says he embarrassed. Of course, he's embarrassed. He's embarrassed for two reasons. He already feels bad that he's not able to satisfy you like he's supposed to or need to. He's in a bad way anyway. And now you walk in and catch him. And the first thing women do, first of all, women have a negative connotation of porn anyway. So as soon as they see you doing, now they thinking pervert, dog. You rather be in there with that than me.
But you never said.
They automatically take it back to themselves when it has nothing to do with them at that particular moment. Give me about 5 minutes.
Reassure them that it has nothing to do with them.
Wait, when am I supposed to do that? Because once you walk in and see me, I have lost that.
I'm sorry, what?
What you say? Did you say something about football? Girl, I will fight you. Did you say about football? I'm simply saying we have lost our credibility when you catch us. When you catch us, it's a wrap. And don't be giving me this, I'm gonna be understanding, because you're not. You're gonna be feeling a way about it. you gonna be every time you see him pull off his clothes, you gonna be like, huh, that's how you make it. I walk in here and you had things working out, you had a fire going and with no wood in here. Because you can't tell.
Oh my goodness.
What did you say, Selena?
He said a fire
I just
going.
needed to repeat that. Did you say a fire going with no wood?
I'm just simply saying the credibility gone at that point. Now, when I walk by you, I got my head down. I can't face you. I can't even look at you because you looking at me with disgust. Like, why you in there doing that? You got all this in here. We got an abundance of booty in here. Why you in there? Well, because there ain't no pressure on that booty. That booty out there don't have no pressure. This booty comes with pressure. And men would rather run a company with 10,000 people with that pressure than the pressure that we have to take in our bedroom sometimes. I'm just saying, man.
You're right. Anthony says, if I'm not feeling up to par, I ask for help.
From her?
And see, listen.
Why not?
Anthony, how long you been married, Anthony? How long you been married? Put it out there, because here's the thing. When issues like this come about, you ain't so forthcoming about what's going on. Monique said, so whose issue is that? Is that now on the wife?
Huh.
Anthony said, all hands on deck. Okay, so Anthony said 23 years. 23 years he's been in. So I would say if Anthony is upfront to say, babe, got a problem, need your help, he's probably at a different level with communication than most people are.
Bro, me and Cheryl have been married since 2000 AD. Okay? You don't be married no longer than me and Cheryl been married.
Yes, you do.
Me and Cheryl been married so long, she was in my baby picture. That's how long we've been married, okay?
So you say you the problem. You have lack of communication.
And we still talk about, there are things that we talk about, but there's some things we just ignore. We just act like they're not there. And that is a lot more common than what we want to admit.
Well, because you think things are okay. If no one is telling you that there's a problem, you think that you're okay. How do we know that you have a problem unless you tell us you have a problem? Same with us. You won't know we have a problem unless we told you that we had a problem.
Well, see, y'all gonna always tell us something wrong with y'all, number one.
Well,
Monique says, I agree with Anthony. Why are we not asking for help? Communication? Because are you really, maybe it's a pride thing. Because here, there are two things that men are measured by. Their ability to provide and their ability to put it down.
And let me say, can you tag me? Tag me out on that one.
Tag.
Because that's all women talk about. All y'all talk about is somebody blowing y'all back out, hanging from the chandelier, throwing you across the room. Girl, he put it down, girl. He ain't have a job. He got gold teeth. All he do is play PlayStation. But girl, if he can put it down, girl, you don't know. Girl, I couldn't walk for 2 days. That's all they talk about. That's all they lie about. That is all they lie about. So they think it ain't gonna be no pressure on us because that's all they talk about. And the minute we can't blow the back out like we used to, now you think we ain't gonna feel the way about it? We human, we listen, we hear what the talking being done.
First of all, we know you got a bad back. We know you got weak knees. We know all of that about you.
Well, act like you know.
Y'all just act like we don't know.
Somebody help me, please. Somebody help me.
You know you're not as strong as you used to be.
But think about what you just said. You know this, but do we need to have a conversation about what has actually changed?
Well, if he has a problem, if he has another problem and he's not communicating that's where the problem is. He's not communicating that. If that I have a problem, I got an issue, and I don't want to talk about it. He's got to talk to somebody. Who's he going to talk to? If he's not talking to his wife, who is he going to talk to?
And that's what we're saying. Men don't say nothing to nobody. We don't say nothing to nobody. We said we self-medicate and we try to deal with the problem ourselves without having to tell somebody. This is why I remember a young man, Chad, said last week, we go get the gas station pill. We go do all of this stuff because we're trying to figure it out ourselves without having that conversation. We will listen. The same, I'm gonna put it in perspective for women. The same way y'all are about diets, how you would try anything if somebody said it worked. We the same way when we having this issue. Yeah. We would try anything as long as people say it worked.
Now, hold on. Now,
talk about it.
Nicole, what's her name? Nicole. I can't get her name. It's Nicole, right? Nicole said that ain't all they talk about. Lies. That's how you identify men. Girl, he the one that can put it down. Oh, that's the one that that's the one LIMP conversation right there. Don't be stealing our LIMP conversation, putting it on nobody. That's our LIMP conversation, brother, right there. Don't be putting that on nobody. I'm telling you right there. But tell me, Selena, your friends, and be honest. When they talk about a guy, that ain't how they talk about him.
No. For one, that's not all we talk about. Let me clarify. It's not all we talk about. And then it becomes different when you get married, because what you talked about when you were dating somebody, they don't necessarily talk about that in marriage. So it's kind of different. But that's not all they talk about either. They also talk about how you wine and dine them, how you respect us. You know what I'm saying? It's more to it than just that. Now that's an important part.
See that her.
I'm saying that's not what we talk about. That's not all we talk about.
She getting an amen corner.
Here they come.
Right. They coming out the woodwork now. Mika said, nope, that is not all we talk about. I will talk about someone being a sorry joker.
We just talk about that as well.
Hey, y'all talk about that after y'all talk about the other part.
For someone who is not able to communicate. So if you're having this problem and you're not communicating, best believe we're talking about the way you lack communication.
Okay, well, how about this, Selena? How about this? Since you want to be on the show, on the Man Talk show, let me give it to you, Man Talk style then. You know why women don't have this problem? Because y'all turn sex on and off like it's a faucet anyway. Y'all don't have to let us know when y'all going through that. Because you sitting by your husband, D, do it like this. Do it like that. Put that hand on one mouth like that.
First of all, we're emotional. And if you say one thing to send us in another direction, you already know. You already know. Don't talk about, I didn't mean that. Well, first of all, you got to give us time to cool down. And are you really serious when you say you sorry?
Do you hear this thing? Do you hear this foolishness?
That is a landmine.
Yeah.
We are constantly walking, trying not to step on these landmines to blow up.
Oh, y'all know what makes us tick and what makes us ticked off.
Absolutely. If you are being attentive, you know.
There you go.
Attentive.
I need you to pay attention. Because you paying attention to your spouse like you did back at South Oak Cliff High School, and that's why you in this position.
Oh, did she go back to South Oak Cliff? She went back to sock on you, bro.
I did.
She went back to sock on you. Oh wow.
Well, let me take it back here then. Again, like I said, women turn sex on and off like it's a remote control, like it's a TV. So don't tell. Well, y'all don't have to talk to us about y'all issues. Y'all just turn it off and be like, we'll deal with it. Well, we can't do that. The first time y'all come to us and we not feeling y'all, now the high's gonna get turned upside down. Tell me I'm wrong about that. Tell me I'm wrong about that.
You're wrong. Mika says, whoa, we don't turn it off. Women appreciate sex just as much as men. You just have to be attentive.
So I'll put out. So let's just put it out. All right. Anthony says she got to turn over and go to sleep at some time.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay, so Anthony aggressive with his. Okay, but so let's see. So we said last week how intimacy is not the act, but rather the conversation. So are married people really being truly intimate when it comes to just all of the issues when it comes to marriage? Are we really being intimate? If the conversation is really the intimacy, are we really being intimate in marriages?
You want me to answer?
I'm throwing out there for anybody who want to pick it up.
Ladies?
I think it's what you're doing is without the sex. If you are just laying up watching TV together, or just riding around in the car having a good conversation together, I think that's a big part of the intimacy, because you're vibing with one another. You are connecting with one another because you're having those conversations that you would normally have if you had kids running around or something that's distracting you.
I really feel like I agree with Cheryl. I feel like the intimacy happens before the bedroom. That's just, I think, like the ceiling of the intimacy, or someone showing that their intimacy is on a different level, because you can have sex with anybody. But if you have nothing outside of the bedroom, if there's no connection that's being made or being had outside of the bedroom, if you're not able to just lay up with someone and connect on a higher level, so like y'all are vibing on a whole different frequency, to where when you come to sex, that's just still in the intimacy that y'all already had.
Right.
And I think that's more important, because then it becomes not about having sex or not. Because when you like, oh, you turn it on and you turn it off, that means that you're solely focusing on the physical act of sex, when you should be focusing on the whole fact that y'all should become intimate and become more of one before going into the bedroom. And so that's just another added bonus to the intimacy that you already have.
Is it my turn to talk? No, you ain't either. No, you ain't either. No, you ain't either. Don't come over here and tell me that it ain't about the sex. Really? Hold on. So let's reverse this just a little bit. Don't mean in the self, but just turn this ride just a little bit. If it's y'all that want the sex, intimacy done went out the window. Y'all want sex when y'all want sex, and we bet not tell you no. Tell me I'm not. Now speak
What
on
happens if you say no?
Speak on that. Whoa. D,
what happens if you say no?
Before. It started before that, because it just does happen like boom right there. You just walk in the house. Oh yeah, I'm ready. No, it happens before that.
I'm talking about when y'all feeling like y'all want sex and the intimacy had been checked. And when y'all come in there, we can't say no to you. Can't say, I don't know a man alive that can say no to his wife and the bed ain't gonna be turned over on him.
He's not gonna say no anyway. But
well, I don't really know what you just said. Just saying, you say what?
Oh, you know what I meant too.
We started to dive into the problem. There seems to be this misconception on both sides as to what not really turns each other on, but what counts. Mika says sex should not be the only intimacy.
Okay.
She said, John, you speak on what we want. You don't know us. Put your finger down, sir. Right. But here's the thing. And maybe this is the conversation, because like John said, y'all can turn it off, like on and off with the remote. That could be a misconception. And the thought that women may think that men are just ready at any time, that's a misconception. So maybe we missing each other with these misconceptions about how things are going.
Because you know why? Because we take for granted the level of intimacy that we have. Intimacy is a daily thing. We try to make intimacy like it's something that we got to do once or twice a month, that we got to talk and feel each other once or twice a month, and it's an everyday thing. Yeah. Marriage is. Wait.
Keep going. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Well, intimacy is the everyday thing. You got to work hard for your marriage to do well, and that's why. Because we have to be talking about stuff that we don't want to talk, that we don't feel comfortable talking about. We got to be around each other when they say, "Well, I don't feel like being around you at the moment." And we have to constantly let the other person know what's going on with us, and we don't want to do that all the time.
I agree. And that's why you come in there at night and you be trying to rub and touch, and we looking at you like, what? And it's not us saying no and turning it on and off like a faucet. It's the fact that you were not intimate with us earlier in the day, and now you want to come and seal the deal. No, because sex to us is an expression of the intimacy that we have already been shown all throughout the week, all throughout the day. And so just like you said, you got to communicate those things. I'm using what you said.
Why you can't just throw him a bone? He had a hard day. He looking for throw him a bone.
Wait a minute, D. What is it?
No, because you're making it as though the wife or the woman is saying, no, I don't want sex right now. And that's not it. It's like, no, I want you to be intimate with me outside of the bedroom. And then when you come in here, we're still in this intimacy that we have.
But Selena, we don't do that. We don't do women like that. Not one time has a man say, you know what, I can't, you can't come in here and try to seal the deal. We haven't been intimate all day. Men don't do that.
You wouldn't do that though, because that's not what men do. But if you know what a woman expects or how a woman operates, and that's what you want to give, because you're the husband and you want to give your wife what she needs, and you understand and identify, my wife needs a level of intimacy that goes further beyond just having sex. It goes further beyond you rooting and tooting or whatever you call turn up the booty, what you do. And since you know that, then you have to
wait, hold up. Did you say rooting and tooting? Did you say rooting and tooting?
You're family fan with somebody, you know what I'm saying? Well, let me say this. If a man got it on his mind that day, he understands that I have to not be nice, but I have to make sure I keep it all good the whole day. Remember we had Jason Earls on. Jason Earls said, he's like, I purposely made a point not to make an argument. And the thing I didn't make an argument about became an argument. And guess what happened? We didn't get intimate that night. Yeah. So we are walking on landmines because we trying to figure out what's going to actually set it off. All right. So Anthony says sometimes no one wants intimacy. Sometimes you just want to get it in. You got stress. You got a hard day. You know what I'm saying? Mika said I'm praying for Anthony. But
save up your coochie coupons. What Anthony said.
Did he say coochie coupons?
Yes, he said
guys save up your coochie coupons. Right. But even in there says that there has to be something done on the front end to secure that level of intimacy on the back end. Mm-hmm. There has to be something done.
So where you can just hit them with a text message, something that is going down when I get home. Or
and you're gonna be good with that.
If you have you have built up this reserve of intimacy, absolutely.
So what we gotta do?
I'm not thinking
so what we gotta do
specifically, but I'm saying that's just your relationship, right? Y'all are just intimate anyway. Y'all are always with each other. Y'all are basking in each other. Then when you say like it's going down tonight. If you say it's going down tonight, y'all on the same wavelength. You like bet like when I get to the house, or you like, bang, like
everybody not always on the same. Yeah, not
there you go. Tell us, Cheryl. Because if I say, hey, tonight we get it in like Betty Wright. And what you gonna say, Cheryl?
Boy, bye, you like she ain't feeling it today. I just gotta go. All right. What? Maybe tomorrow.
And that's what be good for us?
Well, if that's your type of relationship, yes.
And if not, you have a some type of way, because like I'm really trying to get in there, you know.
So wait. So is that when I can start me a party?
No,
Is that
you
when,
have to
Well, you know what? That's what we need to have that hard conversation. How about that?
we need to have a LIMP conversation. That's when the LIMP conversation needs to be had.
We need to have that.
Hey, Derek, tell Cheryl to quit looking at me funny like that. Like she gonna be fussing.
Expectations.
Anthony say y'all gotta get creative.
Oh.
You gotta get creative. Where your wife at, Anthony? I want to hear from your wife, sir.
Yeah. Yes.
Now I agree. Anthony said it's another form of communication. Why? I mean, we wind it down, but why is communication so hard? And we talking about married people that have been in marriages for quite some time. Why does the communication get so hard?
Because after a while, it's assumed. It's assumed after a while. After a while, we don't talk as much as we did when we first started. So the longer that we married, the more everything is assumed. Oh, I thought you wanted to. Because we've been together. Anytime you got over 10, now you're beginning to know more about each other in the conversation. I think anytime I attend, the conversation get less and less. And the misconception about marriage is the longer you be married, the more you have to talk, because people change into different people. They morph into different people. And it should be, dude, the longer you be married, the more you should talk. People should look at married couples. People should look at married couples and laugh about, man, y'all talk about everything.
I agree, because the danger in that is thinking they are no longer changing, like John said. And so you have to be able to not only, and like I keep saying, being attentive, but you have to be intentional about noticing when your spouse is changing. And so then you start those questioning, like, I noticed that you don't really like this anymore, but you're liking this. Is that because, and that's when you start to realize your spouse's new love language, because people do these love language tests. Like my husband's love language is gifts or whatever. But how do you know that they're going to continue to like gifts? They may change to where they want a more affection or they want to spend more quality time, because we change, we evolve. And so if your spouse is evolving, you're not evolving with them, or you're not identifying when they are evolving. And so you're not figuring out, okay, I need to be intentional about the way I handle them or the way I communicate with them or move, then you're going to be left behind, because your spouse is going to be on a whole different vibe or a whole different wavelength than you are. And you're going to think something wrong with them, and they're going to think something is wrong with you. But the fact is y'all are changing and not communicating about the change.
What did you say, Cheryl?
Well, I would have to agree that you do have to talk about any and everything. When it comes to the intimacy, your change, your mood change, or the way you're feeling about intimacy, the way that you're feeling about one another, even in the change, you may feel differently about the change. There may be some things you don't like about the change. That has to be communicated. It has to be communicated across the board, because you are together longer. You can't assume anything. When you assume, you assume wrong, and you're thinking that they're thinking one way, and you could be totally off base. So without communicating, you won't know. You have to ask those questions that they may not feel like answering at that time, but ask the question anyway.
Yeah, because go ahead, D.
I think we just uncovered something. We just said something that's key, and I don't want anybody to miss this. The more you get into it, the more you need to talk, because it is natural for us to feel like if I don't have to say anything and we in this rhythm, everything's fine. But we got to be mindful that the rhythm can change, because we are constantly evolving, we are constantly changing. And so if we don't talk, then we miss things, and we wonder why somebody's unhappy, why the rhythm is off, and the whole nine. And naturally, we want to get to the place where we don't have to say anything. But that's probably a dangerous place to be in when we need to be talking more.
Well, see, that's how people can get divorced after being together 20, 30 years. That's how divorce happens.
Wow.
That's how, because the conversation is not what it needs to be like.
Wow.
That's real.
That's saying a lot, man. Wow.
Went quick.
bruh.
It went really quick. It went really quick, man.
That went very quick. So we're gonna start with the Miss Cheryl. Final thoughts. What you want to leave the people with tonight?
I want to leave the people with trust in your conversation and bringing your thoughts to one another. Don't assume. Don't think that who they were before is that same person, because you grow. And in that growth, things could change. So communicate. Continue to communicate. And that's my final thought.
So my final thought would be that in marriage or relationships, period. So I don't want to just relegate it to marriage, but in relationships, period, intimacy has to start outside of the bedroom. And not only that, but when you are intimate with somebody, you get to know their successes, and then you also get to know their failures. So be able to be vulnerable with your partner and share your successes and share your failures, because only then will you have true intimacy with someone, when you can lay down everything, lay out everything, and uncover, let them uncover who you are and you uncover who they are. So that's my final thought.
Well, my final thought is this. I've often heard that the devil is in the details. The devil is in the details. People don't just say that, because generally it's the thing that we don't talk about as couples that generally comes back to hang us. If you don't talk about how you want the kids to be brought up, if you don't talk about the religion, if you don't talk about some of the stuff that we think is a given, most of the time that's the stuff that comes back and hangs us. So we don't want to leave anything to the chains. Talk, and then more talk. And then when your husband wake up, talk to him some more. That's my final thought.
I'm reminded of Mel Robbins. Mel Robbins is a famous public speaker, and she talks about how our brains work. And she says our brains love routine. And so we love to get into this rhythm. We love to get into this routine because we don't like to think. We just like to just kind of go with the flow. And it seems like we can't do this in marriage. We can't just get into routine, because routine means that there's a good chance that we're going to miss something. And when it comes to our spouses, we don't want to miss anything. Understanding that people change over time. I'm not the same man my wife married. She's not the same woman I married. As you go through time, you're going to change, you're going to evolve. But these evolutions have to be communicated. And when they're not communicated, then we miss it if we're caught in routine. So pull up out the routine, stop, pause, take a minute to see what's really going on in your marriage and your relationship, because you might be surprised at what you find. And when you find something that's out of the norm, this is the thing that we need to talk about. This is the thing we need to discuss. But have these conversations. We want marriages to work. We want relationships to work. These are the things we have to do. Conversation and communication has to be the routine. And that's our King Speak for this week. Well, I want to thank the beautiful women of Man Talk Mondays for coming on with us tonight. We really appreciate y'all taking y'all time to be with us tonight. Y'all shared some great things, and I really hope somebody got something out of this. Married people who hold to be married, the whole nine. I think we gave them something tonight. What y'all think?
Yeah, because we got too many years in, and we still plugging along. So it's got to be something in here for somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be something. And you never think that you've arrived in your marriage. It's a constant class.
I mean, you can think it, but you're gonna set yourself up for failure.
Right. We have got 43 years between the two of us. So yeah, that's quite a bit of time. So Monique says, thank you. Another great show. Way to go, wives. Yes,
What?
we definitely speak our wives.
What? What?
Give them their sign, man. Give them their sign. We gotta give it to them, man. We gotta give it to them.
Hater.
We gotta give it to them.
It was a great show. Real talk. It was a great show, guys. Man. We really appreciate y'all. You guys being on. It was a great show. Great insight. Great show.
Remember, if you like what we're doing, if you like the conversation, if you like what we're talking about, tell somebody. Like it. Share it. Subscribe to our pages. We on Facebook Live. We're on YouTube. We have our Man Talk Monday page on Facebook. We have our Man Talk Monday page, Man Hype and Talk Monday page on YouTube. Go and subscribe. Share this with people that you know that are marriages that are having problems communicating, especially this episode. Share with somebody. Let them know what's going on. So, real quick, man. Big Yogi, what's what?
I'm doing the movie. I told you they called me last week about a movie, man. We're working out the details. Right now, I'm working on the thing for with HBO, Cinemax, and Showtime, trying to see what deals we're gonna make. Right now, we get all the channels. Right now. We're trying to get them throw in some. So, but yeah, it's about to go. It's about to go down, man. It's about to go down.
Miss Cheryl, real quick, let the people know like what you got going on and where they can find you.
Oh, well, I don't have a whole lot going on. No,
Being modest, people. The talented woman should be modest.
No, I've been doing some cakes here and there. I am at Lucy's. You can find my website page at Lucy's, LEWCY''S. Also, I've been working on some new line dances. So as soon as this pandemic is over, I'm there.
We're gonna throw a special party. Just do a whole line dance party. Complete line dance party. We're gonna throw a whole line dance party. But she is the bomb at cakes. So
Yes.
if you need a cake for a special occasion, hit her up. Absolutely. Dr. Smith.
You can find me on Instagram at Dr. Smith_Trauma Queen, on Facebook as Selena Fentoy-Smith, and LinkedIn at Dr. Smith Trauma Queen.
And for me, myself, you can find me at Derek Smith on Facebook and YouTube, or Overcomers Empowerment Ministries. That's the ministry. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube as well. We got plenty of messages out there. You can go back and check, talking about the kingdom, talking about what it is to be a child of God and how to actually live as one. So if you want to know more about that, just go check us out on those particular websites and find out more. I have thoroughly enjoyed this.
Thank you, ladies.
Great time.
Right.
We're here every Monday, 7:00. We appreciate everybody who joined us. We'll catch y'all next week.
Bye.
Peace out.
Bye.